Our story kicks off with dust and betrayal. A blond boy is down, face twisted in pain. Towering over him is a man in a sharp suit, with a look straight out of hell. "You're supposed to be my high-and-hose friend." The words are laced with torn trust. But here's the creepy part. Cut to a close-up, and our boy is wearing the sweetest, most angelic smile. The contrast is chilling. Suddenly, he's slammed to the ground, a jolt of pain zinging through him. He screams. "Isn't what it looks like." Too bad. Explanations are cheap here. But don't get it twisted. The kids here are no helpless lambs. Elsewhere, a blonde girl with twin tails, Marie, is kicking a grown man to the curb. The suit she's protecting? He's stammering like he's seen a ghost, feeling the absolute pressure radiating from this little girl. Freeze. Just one word from her, and he's paralyzed in a cold sweat. See? In the Dead Mansion, age and size are not how you measure danger. A parent's command is absolute. That's the iron rule here. On the surface, the kids will cover up anything with the most innocent lies. "We were just doing some morning exercise." But in reality, a dark-haired boy is pinned down, a toy knife clutched in his hand, a twisted grin on his face. Beneath every good child mask lies a soul that's been meticulously polished for bloodshed. Welcome to another day at the Dead Mansion. The warning over the phone echoes. Don't trust the child more than you ought to. And right on cue, a perfectly staged drama unfolds on the street. The girl wears a mask of pure innocence, but her plan is devilishly clever. We can't lay a finger on the old lady, Sean, since that was the deal. But there are other ways to get the same result without harming her, right? She whispers, as if discussing what dessert to have for tea. Slap. A crisp, resounding slap. Our blond boy is grabbed by the collar, his cheek burning. He tries to plead for help, but all he gets is a cold-blooded threat. It's quite simple, really. She just has to give you up. The man's voice is devoid of warmth, his eyes predatory. "Ever call me like that again?" Here, the so-called guardians are just a higher class of animal trainer. The clack of high heels on pavement sounds like the opening of a ritual. A blonde woman approaches, elegant and deadly, flanked by a man in sunglasses. Her presence alone freezes the air. Before her, two boys stand terrified. One mutters, "And no, anything but that," while the other can't even look up. This woman is clearly here to announce the rules of the game, and they have no right to refuse. "You really are a handful, aren't you?" the woman says with a playful smirk. The boy can only respond nervously. "We'll talk about this when we get home, sweetie." Then the scene shifts. The blood-red title appears, Dead Mansion. A man with a mechanical eye grins maniacally, while another lunatic screams, "Excellent work, Marie." Yep, this is their world. A family of madmen, actors, and killers. A foot comes down, mercilessly crushing a glowing phone screen. Communication terminated. Connection severed. In a dim dining hall, someone kneels before a table, praying to a religious painting on the wall. The posture is humble, but it feels like a dark ritual. Miles away, a girl sits by her window, casually swinging her legs. That's Marie. The order comes through her earpiece. "Take full credit for this operation, Marie." She just smirks. A solution worthy of the Dead Mansion's star strategist. Everything is under control. Sean is coming back. The girl on the phone is screaming with excitement. But a second later, a chilling command freezes her solid. "You are to return promptly now, Marie. Do you understand?" Meanwhile, the oblivious Sean is just enjoying some pizza with a friend. And then, splat, a pan of hot oil rains down from above, right on his face. This sudden surprise is just dripping with the mansion's signature brand of dark humor. "See? I told you our tastes align, my little dove." The silver-haired woman smiles, drizzling mint chocolate sauce and pineapple over his food. Sean, forced to eat it all, looks like he's about to puke. "You command me to eat all this crap. And for the record, your tastes are weird. Mint and pineapple. This is unholy, man." He's on the verge of a breakdown, and she's just watching. Her inner monologue. He's following the orders down to the letter. It's clear his ownership has returned to the mansion. The whirring of a wheelchair is deafening in the cold dining hall. A man covered head to toe in bandages slowly approaches, his one visible eye glinting with an inhuman light. The two kids at the table fall silent instantly, not even daring to ask for milk anymore. Our blond boy is sweating bullets, about to bite through his fork. This man's mere presence is enough to fill the entire room with suffocating pressure. The boy finally snaps, leaping to his feet, rage boiling over. I would have written a blank check to catch this snob brat. But his fire is extinguished in an instant under the bandaged man's cold gaze. The man just silently clenches his fist, points a finger, and without a single word, makes the boy feel the icy grip of death. This isn't a fair fight. Kid, you messed with the wrong guy. Sorry to keep you waiting. A woman with glasses walks in with coffee, her smile professional, yet hiding a hint of calculation. The silver-haired woman, the guardian of these kids, doesn't even look up, her tone dripping with sarcasm. You could say that again. How sluggish. The air between them crackles with an unspoken power play. This is a stage built on lies, deals, and control, and everyone is an actor wearing a mask. The woman hands the little boy a hot chocolate. The gesture is gentle, but her words are sharp as a knife. The market you destroyed and the construction company's HQ. She's reminding them of the mess they made. The silver-haired woman fires back without missing a beat. Don't get chummy with me. We pay you to handle this. Stay professional. On the surface, it's a partnership. Underneath, it's a cold war of mutual distrust. But others might wonder. The woman says, taking a slow sip of her coffee before dropping a bomb. If someone who causes this much trouble should even be considered pro. The words are a direct hit, a perfectly aimed jab. But she immediately defuses the tension with an innocent smile. Oh dear, it's a naughty habit of mine. Thinking out loud. This woman plays mind games like a grandmaster. And why am I the only one with a paper cup? The silver-haired woman asks out of the blue. The woman with glasses just smiles. Oh yeah, the construction company said they didn't want any compensation. The silver-haired woman just shrugs. Let's say we're scratching each other's backs. This is how true pros roll. An unspoken exchange of favors. Behind every casual line of dialogue could be a deal signed in blood. Business should be done between professionals of equal caliber. The silver-haired woman's voice turns cold. It's not good practice to shake hands with people of such questionable integrity. She locks eyes with the other woman, her words deliberate. Do you think Bayonyu Construction can truly be trusted? The warning is crystal clear. In this game, one wrong move and you lose everything. I have some doubts about their capability to be partners in business. The words barely leave her mouth before, crash. The girl is sent flying by an invisible force, slamming hard against the wall. 1 second, it's a cool-headed business negotiation. The next, it's brutal, violent punishment. That's the Dead Mansion style. The only alternative to perfection is being broken into pieces. You goddamn bastards. You dare kidnap my Sean. The silver-haired woman roars, the click-clack of her gun a promise of death. At the same time, in some dark room, Sean is being held by 2 goons. And the bandaged man? He's looking at him with an all-knowing gaze, a mocking smile on his lips. You really are powerless without any orders. The prey has been captured, and the hunter's game has just begun. The bandaged man's hand clamps on Sean's hair like a vice. And without a command, you can't even lift your own finger. He's savoring this moment of absolute control. Sean, gagged, can only let out a guttural, animalistic growl, his eyes burning with defiance. But the bandaged man seems pleased. He raises a finger, a wild idea forming in his twisted mind. This gives me the wildest idea. Son, I'll buy you, and then give you a rather tasty order. The mastermind's voice is thick with twisted delight. Tear that old woman and her miserable little son to pieces. But just then, a flicker of resolve flashes in the control boy's eyes. In a swift move, he presses a blade to the man's throat. You see, I'm just getting warmed up, he says, his voice is cold as steel. It seems an order can also be the key that unlocks the beast. So behave and watch the show like a good child. And don't worry, your turn will come. The devil's whisper echoes in his ear. Sean's mouth is taped shut, but a wicked grin spreads across his face. He's powerless to stop this, forced to watch. But in those blue eyes, a fire of vengeance is raging. Outside, a hospital's green cross glows in the night, a final eulogy for the slaughter that's about to begin. Let the show start. Mom gently peels an apple for her son in the hospital bed. She nicks her finger, but just laughs it off. As she leaves the room, she tells him not to move. It looks like a touching mother-son moment. But as she walks alone down the dark hospital corridor, her expression turns chilling and sinister. What kind of murderous intent is hiding behind that gentle facade? In the dark hallway, a man is taken down in a flash, slammed brutally onto the floor. The attacker, another man in a suit, stands over him, expressionless, holding a blue helmet. He appeared like a ghost, silently and efficiently eliminating the obstacle. There are no rules here, only the strong preying on the weak. Welcome to the jungle. The door slides open, revealing a chilling scene. A dark-haired boy sits on the bed, smiling calmly. And the man in the wheelchair, the one they call Father, is looking at him like he's inspecting a piece of merchandise. It's good to finally make acquaintance with you, son. His voice is filled with possession and madness. This isn't a family reunion. This is a demon admiring his own handiwork. I've stressed the importance of efficiency in all aspects of work to my boy. The man, Hyein-ho's father, looks down contemptuously at the person tied to the chair. Keeping you alive half dead like this is just a waste of resources. Behind him, the dark-haired boy, Hyein-ho, stands impassively, as if this has nothing to do with him. He's been perfectly crafted into a flawless, emotionless weapon. Shaking hands with third-rate scumbags. It really is poor practice. On the skyscraper's edge, the blonde woman talks to herself as she pulls the trigger. The bullet screams downwards, shattering glass. She dives after it, a living arrow aimed straight at her target. An elegant and deadly assault has just begun. How dare you, third-rate scumbags? Put your hands on my Sean. The woman's fury explodes, her roar drowning out the sound of shattering glass. Elsewhere, a man with a bandaged face drags a blade across the floor, his eyes like chips of ice. Blood, screams, and steel. Tonight is going to be a long night. The woman moves like lightning. A kick, a block, a counter. Every motion is precise and lethal. She's like a finely tuned killing machine, weaving through her enemies. The man whose wrist she's caught has sheer terror written on his face. He'll probably die wondering how he ever managed to piss off a monster like her. And on the other side of the battlefield, things are far more primal and savage. The blonde boy smashes his head into an opponent's face with a sickening crunch. He's grinning, reveling in the pure violence. He throws the man against the wall like a rag doll. In this moment, he's no good child. He's a beast unleashed from its cage. The fight rages on. The blonde woman tears through the hallway like a hurricane. When she finally stops, the corridor behind her is a scene of utter carnage. She stands there, bloody dagger in hand, her eyes burning with a dangerous fury, and demands of the survivors. "Where's my Sean, you double-crossing bastards?" The goddess of vengeance has arrived. So many repulsive boys in suits that don't match them. The boy's icy gaze sweeps over the enemy surrounding him, his voice dripping with disdain. His pupils flash crimson, the signal for slaughter. A one-sided massacre is about to begin. Ooh, and you even brought the right tools for the project, children. The blonde woman opens her arms as if welcoming guests to a grand party. But the main event at this party is gunfire and death. Bang, bang, bang. The air erupts with gunfire. She dances through the storm of bullets, every flip and roll punctuated by a falling enemy. It's a gorgeous dance of death. Filthy roaches. The enemies scream, but their struggles are meaningless before the silver-haired woman. She smirks, gun still smoking, a pile of bodies at her feet. And behind her, a man with glasses swings a blade down towards a child being held in someone's arms. Protection and slaughter happening at the same time in this dark, twisted place. The boy has a creepy smile on his face. His mouth is taped shut, but his eyes are saying, the real show is yet to come. Across the way, the silver-haired woman takes a bullet to the leg. Blood trickles down, but she just glances at the wound and keeps shooting. The man with glasses aims his gun at her, smiling as he threatens, "I'll make sure the next one kisses your head." In this arena of death, everyone is both hunter and prey. Guess that means you're going to kill her. The blonde boy says, his voice flat as he chokes a man. The next second, he explodes with incredible power, sending another grown man flying with a single punch. There's no emotion in his blue eyes, just pure, unadulterated killing intent. The child who once needed protecting has now become the most terrifying monster in the room. "I'm currently affiliated with the Dead Mansion, and you just threatened to kill the mansion's headmistress." The boy states this fact calmly, standing amidst a pile of bodies. The white-haired woman, the headmistress, has murder in her red eyes. Following the third commandment, "I have identified you people as a threat." Their words are the final judgment for these intruders. "Get back here, you brat," a bald brute yells, charging at the boy. But our boy just gives him a cold stare, not a trace of fear in his eyes. Their hands meet mid-air, a contest of strength that explodes in an instant. Then, thwack, the big guy hits the floor. The fight has only just begun. Surrounded, the boy becomes an efficient killing machine. Punch after punch, every strike is precise and brutal. He even calmly shoots the weapons out of his enemy's hands, sending sparks flying. His face is a blank slate, as if this is all just a boring warm-up exercise. Shaw needs no parent to issue his commands. The silver-haired woman is stunned. That can only mean what's driving him to fight is, for me, out of his heartfelt desire to protect me. Out of love, she's touched by the thought. And then a giant mental, X, that's a big nope, pops in her head. Don't be silly. This is the Dead Mansion. Love doesn't live here. There sure are a lot of them. Is there anything I can use as a weapon? Cornered and outnumbered, The boy is still calmly analyzing the situation. He thinks, he calculates, and he kicks away a guy trying to sneak up on him. His mind and body are working like precision instruments, searching for any and every weakness in his enemies. Getting cold feet, kid. Come here, so I can give you a stab. The man taunts, lunging with a syringe. But a second later, he's screaming, something hitting him square in the eye. Turns out, our boy stuffed a mouthful of syringes and spat them out like darts. Besides, I was quite gentle with you. The boy thinks, smiling, with plenty more ammo in his hands. It's time for your vaccinations, everyone, the boy announces in a cheerful tone. Then he takes the giant syringes he snatched from his enemies and plunges one deep into another guy's neck. The man is cursing him out with his dying breath, but the boy just slams him to the ground, using the enemy's weapon to finish them off. Now that's some next-level trolling. Gonna cut you in half with this sucker, you little brat. The roar of a chainsaw echoes through the hall, thick with the stench of death. Faced with this overwhelming threat, the boy and his companion have no choice but to run for their lives. The chase is on. Wait just a sec, mister. I get it, but a chainsaw is a bit of an overkill, isn't it? The boy screams in terror, trying to block the attack with a cart. But the chainsaw man is relentless, advancing step by step, his face a blank mask. Fear and despair wash over the boy. Can he pull off another miracle this time? The scene is filled with primal violence. The boy mercilessly whips a man strapped to a gurney, his movements practiced and cold. He even grabs the man by the neck, tearing at him with brutal force. Finally, he flashes a provocative, savage grin, his eyes like ice. This isn't just punishment. It's a carefully choreographed performance of pain. A rainy night. The scene of a car crash. The boy kneels beside a fallen man, the bloody chainsaw in his hands still humming. Blood. There's blood everywhere. Seriously, mister. Snap out of it already. He says the most terrifying things in the most innocent tone. Because I have so many questions for you. Now, where they take Hyenho's mother to, the boy asks coldly, a dagger pressed against a man's ear. The battle is over. The scene a total wreck. The silver-haired woman stands guard with her gun, surrounded by enemy corpses. Like two perfectly synchronized reapers, they've finished their harvest. But we're not fighting to save that lady. Double-dealing scumbags kidnapped you, the mansion's property. The boy's inner monologue reveals the true reason for this fight. And the silver-haired woman says just as coldly, and I only made the move to collect you. That's all. There's no warmth between them, only missions and assets. But the boy retorts, I think you're the one who's got this backwards, sister. Their relationship is far more complicated than it seems. The boy kneels, calmly tearing strips from the woman's coat and boots to bandage his wounds. As he said, I did what I had to safeguard you from the threat. He keeps his head down, his voice steady, but his eyes are filled with killing intent. The bastards dared to hurt our headmistress, and that is an offense that I can't overlook. His loyalty is expressed in the most extreme way possible. You really are the best, my child. The best of the best. The woman is ecstatic on the inside, but on the outside, she just urges the boy to get moving. And the boy, with his head down, thinks to himself, I laid it on thick, so she should have bought it. Both of them are wearing masks, playing each other, using each other. In this mansion, trust is the ultimate luxury. In a shadowy corridor, a new threat is brewing. A man in a priest's collar grips a dagger, his eyes bloodshot, his face a mask of rage. He seems to be reporting to a cloaked figure. At the same time, across the city, the Dead Mansion's elite team has assembled, ready to move out. A new storm is about to break. Sean, welcome back to the flock. And consider this your first mission. Guns are cocked, blades are drawn. Two new faces appear beside Sean. They look like students, but their eyes are those of veteran soldiers. Sean stands between them, hands in his pockets, expression cold as ice. First day back on the job, and it's already time to get his hands dirty. Drop the ball, Sean. To think you'd stoop this low. The blonde man's mockery is ruthless. So they have a history. The living legend is now stuck on a mission with a bunch of kids. Outside the window, three figures are watching. The hunter is about to become the hunted. Our mission is to purge the heretics. The silver-haired woman's voice is empty of all emotion. The gun in her hand is pressed against Sean's temple. In an instant, the tension skyrockets. Is this a test? Or a betrayal? Sean clenches his fists, suppressing the rage building inside him. This team was built on a foundation of distrust from the very beginning. We just need to smash them all to pieces, period. Sean's expression is ferocious, like a cornered animal ready to lash out. In a control room somewhere, a muscular man in sunglasses is watching it all on a monitor, thoroughly entertained. A wicked smile plays on his lips. But the target really is the dead mansion. And that's Headmistress Rachel, isn't it? He's been looking forward to this show for a long time. For the last time, they're not assassins. Think of them as mercenaries, not too different from us, the silver-haired man says with a grin. Elsewhere, the bandaged man in the wheelchair stares ahead with his cold, mechanical eye. Assuming you'll properly send them to the afterlife. These people talk about murder like it's just another business transaction. Mr. Medvedev is going to scare the clients. The mood in the room is a bit tense. The white-haired man with sunglasses adjusts his shades, a confident smirk on his face. I'd never harm a client. Me and those kids were on completely different levels. His words are dripping with adult arrogance. But he's about to find out that these kids are far more terrifying than he could ever imagine. It's too quiet. Something's wrong. The team enters an abandoned school building. All the security cameras are down. The girl with glasses suggests they split up, a strange smile playing on her lips. This is a trap, and they are walking right into the hunter's snare. Disperse and search. Report as required. The white-haired woman gives the order. The team gets in a position, but the girl with the glasses, she's wearing a deeply unsettling smile. What secret is she hiding behind those lenses? It feels like there's another, deeper conspiracy at play behind this mission. See, come out, come out. The boy yells into the empty hallway, his voice shaking with fear. A woman's cold laughter echoes around him. Still haven't given up on that old woman and her son, have you? The words are a dagger to his heart, hitting him right where it hurts. He clenches his fists, flames of hatred burning in his eyes. The more you cling to them, the more danger they'll be put in. The blond young man lights a cigarette, his voice dangerously calm. He wraps a hand around the other's throat, the gesture gentle yet full of menace. They were leading ordinary lives, but your meddling had dragged them into the shadows. His words are a curse, with no escape. After all of us are here because of you. The man stands on the edge of a blood-red abyss, his back to the world. His words are filled with a fatalistic despair. Because of one person's choice, everyone's ordinary life began to crack and buckle, dragged down into an endless darkness. Your rightful place is with the dead mansion, my dear. The woman's voice is cold and alluring, the gun in her hand pressed against the boy's neck. His eyes are wide with shock and pain. The next second, bang, a gunshot rings out. Is this the end? Hold on, you know him. Who is he? The boy yells in panic. The enemy he's facing seems to be the second in command of a Russian mercenary group. And in another corner, a man in sunglasses is holding a captured child. The situation is getting more complicated by the second. My latest target just happened to be you, the dead mansion. The silver-haired man aims his gun from above, his face a mask of obsessive fascination. Sure, I may be head over heels for you, darling, but a job's a job. Love and murder, a twisted and perfect union within him. We're professionals, let's calm down first, the man in sunglasses says with a laugh, pistol whipping the guy on the floor. The silver-haired woman adds coldly, there's no room for feelings in this line of work, right, darling? They're like a perfectly matched pair of demons, enjoying this violent game. Gunshots, explosions, shattering glass. The battle has reached a fever pitch. The white-haired man moves at high speed through a hail of bullets, a smile plastered on his face. He's enjoying this, dancing on the knife's edge. For people like them, the battlefield isn't hell. It's a playground. Of all the services out there, it just had to be barefoot. The gray-haired woman's mind is racing with frustration. She and the blonde woman, two top-tier killers, are locked in a fierce shootout. Shell casings dance in the air, and blood blossoms on the walls. This is a duel to the death between equals. Killing her would be such a waste. Maybe a few shots in the right places would knock her out. The killer watches from the shadows, calculating his next move. He spots the blonde boy, curled up on the floor, and a cold smirk spreads across his face. Like a panther, he closes in silently, and then he lunges. Like I said, dream on. The boy steps on shattered glass with a sharp crunch. He moves with impossible speed, tackling the gunman and pinning him to the floor. He slams the man's head into the ground with a sickening thud. In that moment, he's no longer the prey. He is the apex predator. You're a different breed altogether compared to that girl. The injured man lies on the ground, a twisted smile on his face, his eyes full of defiance. The boy looks down at him, his gaze as sharp and cold as a winter morning, as if he's already looking at a corpse. This fight, it's not over yet. But what a drag. They sent me all the way out here for a lousy-ass pickup job for a bunch of snotty kids. The white-haired man leans against his van, bored out his mind. But then, as he sees the group of children emerging from under the bridge, he freezes. These kids, led by a tall, cloaked figure, radiated danger that doesn't match their age. He realizes this mission might not be so simple after all. They're the good children of the dead mansion. A woman in a nun's habit stands behind the four kids, her voice cold. All exquisitely crafted merchandise. Not any snotty children by any measure. Her red eyes gleam with an unnatural light. The man finally understands. He's not here to pick up children. He's here to transport 4 living, breathing, lethal weapons. Now, children, to get on, please. The fireworks are about to begin. The woman urges with a smile. One of the kids asks, confused, fireworks? The next second, kaboom! A massive explosion erupts in the distance, lighting up the sky. The man is so shocked, he drops his cigarette. The hell was that? The woman, however, remains perfectly calm. We're exfiltrating now, Dimitri. Hands behind the wheels, please. What you're seeing is the children's artwork, the nun says with a proud smile. She turns to the kids in the van, her voice gentle. Did you all enjoy your field trip today? In unison, they reply, yes, Sister Rachel. Then, she sternly points out one boy's shooting error. Maintaining your tools is an important virtue of a true professional. Her teaching methods are as twisted as they are effective. Amy, you stuttered from nerves during the performance. Tom, your footsteps were too heavy during infiltration. Eddie, you stole candy from the conference room and didn't dispose of it. Sister Rachel points out every single mistake. She demands absolute perfection. Any tiny flaw could lead to mission failure. Outside the van, a man is laughing at them. He has no idea just how terrifying these pipsqueaks really are. Dumi a favor. The woman strikes without warning, her fingers gripping the man's jaw before he can even react. She plucks the cigarette from his mouth and snaps it in two. They're bad for the children, you see, she says, her voice soft but her words laced with steel. The dagger in her other hand glints in the dark. This is a warning, and a final one at that. Is there something on my face? The man asks nervously. The woman just lowers her head, revealing a red, star-shaped scar on her forehead. Anyhow, what's the story behind it? Her gaze is deep and cold, like she's interrogating a prisoner. The air inside the car instantly becomes heavy. Oh, this? I got this when I was disciplining Sean, the woman says casually. The legendary good child of the mansion. The man seems intrigued. Yes, he was nothing short of extraordinary, one of the gifted children uniquely designated by the mansion. The scene shifts. A hand gently rests on a blonde child's head. On the child's back, a strange tattoo is visible. Behind every genius lies a history of scars and pain. Our very own masterpieces. But then we lost him. The woman's voice is filled with loss. No telling if he's even alive out there. She looks at the man, a hint of a plea in her eyes. So if you ever see it, please send me a word. See what exactly? The man asks. What is this that she's talking about? On the young man's back, a single Cyrillic word is tattooed in black, Medine. As the brute approaches with a knife, he just gives him a cold look. You aren't a snotty little brat. I'll give you that, the man sneers. The next second, he's sent flying by an incredible force. In the face of absolute power, words are unnecessary. The second in command of the Merc group, barefoot, rips his own shirt open, revealing a canvas of scarred muscle. His opponent, the blonde boy, is bleeding, but his eyes are burning with even more ferocity. The showdown between two beasts has officially begun. Who will be the one left standing? The boy's counterattack is as fast as lightning. He grabs the man's arm, slams his elbow into his head. Every move is filled with power and technique. This isn't a kid's scuffle. This is a life or death battle. His body has long been trained into the ultimate lethal weapon. Damn, my ribs might be cracked. The bald man curses inwardly, but out loud he taunts. We're just getting started, Sean. Don't keep me waiting. He swings his blade, but Sean just dodges calmly. The boy's inner thought. I got him good on the chin 3 times already. He's been in control of this fight from the start. Sean's strength is beyond belief. He shatters the man's blade with his bare hands, sending fragments flying. He stands behind his fallen opponent, looking back coolly, blood still on his lips. He has proven, with sheer power, who the real monster is here. Ever earned an award when you were a kid, bear man? The man mocks, driving his knee into the boy. He tries to snatch the gold medal the boy is protecting with his life. But his arrogance comes with a fatal price. Kapow! The boy's fist crushes the man's skull, sending blood everywhere. Some things are a line you just don't cross. Consider it a souvenir from Korea for your babushka. The man sneers, trying to finish the boy off with a blade. But cornered, the boy explodes with terrifying power. Kablum! His punch turns the man's face into a bloody mess. This is a counterattack straight from hell. Or maybe you want to save that one for your resume. The boy stands shirtless, looking down at his defeated opponent, his voice dripping with sarcasm. He grips the short blade in his hand, his eyes cool and focused. The fight is done. Time to link up with Rachel. The boy ends the fight in a way that's almost artistic. His leg connects with the big man's stomach, the impact so powerful it shatters objects around them. This performance of violent aesthetics concludes with his absolute victory. Don't you know when enough is enough? The boy has the brute in a chokehold. The man struggles, spitting up blood, completely overpowered. Like an experienced hunter, the boy calmly handles his prey. The moment the weapon slips from the man's grasp, his defeat is total. The boy smashes through a glass window. Behind it, his own ID photo shows an innocent face in a school uniform. But the boy now is muscular, his eyes are cold, and there's blood on his lips. He's been completely reforged from a good child into a weapon. And that swimming pool with the glass ceiling. How many other pasts like his are buried there? They can't be underwater, can they? The dark-haired boy is shocked. He can't sense the enemy's presence at all. He's no ordinary chump, that's for sure. He makes a split-second decision and leaps down the stairs, ready for a fight. And his opponent, a blue-haired young man, is waiting for him with a condescending smile. I've got to report this to Rachel. The boy reaches for his radio, but the blue-haired guy ambushes him from behind, snatching it away. There's a jammer set up, so I'm afraid radios are useless, he says with a grin. The boy's heart sinks. I can feel it. He's no amateur. A nasty fight is unavoidable. The boy instantly switches into helpless victim mode, crying and begging for mercy. Sorry, sir. Please let me go. They forced me to come. The silver-haired man buys it, lowering his guard. Good. He's dropped his guard, the boy thinks to himself. But inside, it's a different story. This was the moment he was waiting for. A second later, he launches his deadly counterattack. Swings a bat at a crying kid without hesitation. The silver-haired man seems to be reflecting on his actions. But then, his face contorts with ecstasy. Didn't even get to the good parts, and you're crying already. What heck? That was friggin' sweet. Whoa, had the perfect pop to the hit. He has a twisted, pathological love for violence. Gopnik, a Russian word that roughly translates to hood rat. But this guy is obviously far more dangerous than any street punk. Underneath his wet hair, his eyes are full of malice, his teeth sharp. He grabs his own hair, his voice a sadistic purr. Promise me, you'll whimper like that for each blow, kiddo. The real nightmare has just begun. Dinky little wet nose. How dare you? In the pouring rain, the man who called himself a Gopnik is absolutely livid. He's smashing the boy's head into the frigid water, each impact sending a violent splash into the air. He thought this was just a one-sided beatdown, but he quickly realizes something is wrong. This kid is far more resilient than he thought. Under the surface, as his lungs scream for air, the boy's eyes aren't filled with fear, but with a cold, violet light. He's waiting for his moment. Just a little more. And then he strikes. Breaking free, he delivers a vicious elbow spike right to the man's temple with a sickening crack. A cruel smile even plays on his lips. The real game has just begun. The roles of hunter and hunted have been instantly reversed.